Welcome back to Have More Babies. Today, well, we're tackling something I think every parent thinks about.
Hmm.
How do we actually get our kids to eat healthy food? It sounds simple, but it's often not.
Definitely not, but it's so important. We've got some great info today, actually, drawing from Omega Pediatrics.
Yeah, looking at building those healthy habits that hopefully stick around, for the long run.
Exactly. Because, I mean, when we talk about kids' nutrition, it's not just about packing today's lunch.
Right.
It's really foundational for their growth, their development, even setting patterns for life, potentially even for, future generations.
It can feel like such a battle sometimes, can it? You try
Mm.
so hard, and getting them to just look at broccoli feels like a win.
Oh, totally. That feeling of negotiating with a tiny food critic,
Mm-hmm.
very relatable,
Yeah. So if you felt that, you were definitely not alone.
for sure. But maybe thinking about it this way helps.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are growing so fast, building bones, brains, everything.
Mm.
So the quality of what they eat during these years has this massive impact. It's not just about avoiding like a vitamin deficiency right now.
It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's about building this fundamental relationship with healthy food, something that can genuinely protect them from chronic diseases later on.
Okay, so for kids older than toddlers, say over 2 years old, what does a really healthy diet? What should it actually look like? What are we aiming for?
Well, think about balance. The dietary guidelines for Americans give a good framework. You want lots of colorful fruits, a good mix of veggies.
Okay.
Protein is obviously key: seafood, lean meat, eggs, but also things like beans and lentils, plant-based stuff.
Right, the legumes.
Yep. And whole grains, not just the refined stuff, for energy. Then dairy, low-fat, fat-free, or lactose-free options work well for calcium.
And oils.
And small amounts of healthy oils, yeah, like olive oil.
Okay, so that's the good stuff. What about the flip side? What are the things maybe sneaking in too often that we need to watch out for?
Right. The guidelines point to a few key things to limit. First is calories from solid fats.
Solid fats, like butter.
Exactly. Butter, fat on meat, stuff that's solid at room temp. That includes saturated and, importantly, trans fats.
Got it.
Reducing sodium, salt is also really important long term. And probably the biggest one for many families is keeping added sugars down.
Added sugars. So not the sugar that's naturally in fruit.
Precisely. It's the sugar added during processing or when you're cooking. That's the one to minimize.
Okay, that makes sense. We hear about empty calories. So what actually happens if kids, consistently miss out on the good stuff, the key nutrients?
Well, it can lead to actual deficiencies, in vitamins and minerals. Yeah. That can mess with their energy, their focus, even their mood sometimes.
Wow, okay.
And their immune systems can take a hit too. They might become weaker, making them more likely to catch every little bug that goes around school or daycare.
That's a really good reminder of the sort of tangible impact. Okay, what about pediatricians? They're usually our go-to. How can they help with nutrition?
Oh, they're crucial partners in this. They can give really specific advice, maybe recommend certain foods or even vitamins if they spot a particular need for your child.
Right, tailored advice.
Exactly. And they look at the bigger picture too, encouraging healthy lifestyle habits, generally not just food, but activity, sleep, the whole package for health and happiness.
It's hard sometimes to know if you're feeling them the right amount. Are there general guidelines for calories, like for different ages?
Yeah, the USDA has some ranges. They're just ballpark figures, of course, but
Yeah.
helpful. For toddlers, age 2 to 3, it's around 1,000 calories a day.
Okay.
For kids 4 to 8, it bumps up to about 1,200 to 1,400. Then 9 to 13, it's like 1,400 to 1,600 for girls, and a bit more for boys, maybe 1,600 to 2,000.
And teenagers.
Right, teens 14 to 18.
Yeah.
Girls around 1,800, boys maybe 2,000 up to 2,400.
Yeah.
But again, super variable based on how active they are.
Right, activity level is key. And breakfast, we always hear most important meal. Is there like actual science behind that beyond just energy?
There really seems to be. Studies suggest eating breakfast regularly doesn't just give you that morning boost.
Uh-huh.
It's also linked potentially to a lower risk of childhood obesity. It might help regulate appetite for the rest of the day. Kind of interesting.
Huh. Okay, so we talked about the yes foods. Let's get specific on the limit or avoid list. What kind of foods fall into that category?
Okay, think refined grains first,
Yeah.
like white bread, white pasta. They just don't have the fiber and nutrients of whole grains.
Right.
Foods with lots of added sugar candy, sugary breakfast cereals, tons of processed snacks. Those are big ones to limit.
And fats.
Saturated fats, yeah, fatty meats, some baked goods, and those solid fats we mentioned. Processed foods generally, like many frozen pizzas, chips, crackers, tend to be high in salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats.
And drinks.
Oh, definitely. Sugary drinks, soda, of course, but also many fruit juices that have sugar added. Those should really be occasional treats, not daily things.
It's tough because that's often the stuff kids really want, but you said occasional treats are okay.
Exactly. Making things totally forbidden can backfire, make them seem more desirable. So moderation is often a better approach. Treats are treats, not staples. It's about teaching that balance.
Yeah, teaching a healthy relationship with all food. Okay, let's dive into the big one. Picky eating. I feel like almost every parent deals with this. Omega Pediatrics has some really practical tips. What are some key ones?
Well, probably the most powerful thing. Be a good example yourself.
Ah, the role model thing.
Totally. Kids watch everything. So eating healthy meals together, regular meal times, serving everyone the same food mostly, and maybe turning off the TV during dinner. Those habits make a huge difference over time.
Makes sense. They absorb what we do. What about when they just flat out refuse? The classic standoff.
Yeah, Omega Pediatrics really advises against food fights. Don't pressure, don't punish, don't force it.
Even though it's tempting sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. But it can create really negative feelings about food, making picky eating even worse down the line. Keep mealtimes positive, relaxed if you can.
I like this next idea. Spice them up. Simple, but potentially effective.
Isn't it great? Just using different herbs and spices can totally change a familiar food. Helps kids explore new tastes without it being a whole new thing.
So if they hate plain steamed broccoli,
Try it roasted with a little garlic powder, maybe some herbs. Start small with new flavors.
and getting kids involved in the kitchen.
Yes, huge. Let them help pick out veggies at the store, wash them, stir things. When they have a hand in making it, they feel some ownership.
More likely to try it.
Often, yeah. Looking at kid-friendly recipes together can also make it fun.
This food bridges idea is really smart too. Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's about making gradual shifts. You find similarities between a food they like and a new one you want them to try. Could be taste, color, texture.
Okay, so an example.
Like if they like mashed potatoes, maybe try mashed sweet potatoes, or even pumpkin pie, filling similar texture. Then maybe mashed carrots. You bridge the gap slowly.
That sounds much less scary for a picky kid.
Uh-huh.
And pairing foods, like something they like with something new.
Yep. Another good tactic, serve that broccoli, maybe, with a little bit of cheese sauce they like. Or offer some new veggie sticks with hummus if they already like hummus. The familiar makes the unfamiliar less daunting.
And a really key reminder, avoid bribing kids to eat. No, eat your peas and you get dessert.
Exactly. It seems like it works in the moment, but long term. It teaches them that healthy food is like a chore you need a reward for enduring. We want them to actually appreciate healthy food for its own sake.
These are all super helpful for the day-to-day battles, but zooming out, how do we really build habits that last a lifetime? What's the bigger picture?
Ultimately, it comes down to understanding the long game. Eating well in childhood dramatically cuts the risk of serious stuff, later heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity.
It's preventative.
Hugely preventative. And like we said earlier, the habits they form young can genuinely influence eating patterns for generations. It starts now.
So it really, really starts at home, with us, the parents, as role models.
Absolutely. It's probably the single most powerful factor. When we consistently choose, cook, and actually enjoy healthy foods ourselves, it sends a super clear message. This is normal. This is good.
Creating that healthy food culture in the family.
Exactly that.
Omega Pediatrics also has some concrete tips for, like, grocery shopping and cooking. Can you highlight a few practical ones?
Sure. When shopping, look for cereals with low or no added sugar. Try to get more plant proteins in beans. Peas, lentils are fantastic. Include fish like salmon or tuna for those omega-3s. Go for low-fat or non-dairy milk. Choose whole grains, brown rice, whole wheat bread, and just load up the cart with colorful fruits and veggies. Variety.
And checking labels.
Yeah, worth glancing at labels for things like potassium, calcium, fiber, vitamin D nutrients kids often need more of.
Okay, and in the kitchen, when preparing meals.
Try using oils like canola or olive oil instead of loads of butter or margarine. Think baking, steaming, roasting instead of frying all the time.
Less salt.
Definitely watch the salt. Aim for that half the plate rule with fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Offer kid-sized portions. And have easy, healthy snacks, ready-cut fruit, veggie sticks, yogurt. Makes the healthy choice the easy choice.
It really drives home that point. Healthy parents often lead to healthy kids. Our actions are so loud.
They really are. Kids are watching constantly. When they see us genuinely enjoying a salad or trying a new vegetable, they're way more likely to be curious and eventually copy that behavior.
Hmm.
Leading by example is everything here.
And look, if any of this feels overwhelming or if you're dealing with really persistent picky eating, Omega Pediatrics is such a great resource. They can really be a partner.
You really are.
Mhm.
Super committed to helping families navigate this. They could work with you on your child's specific needs, offer personalized strategies.
Yeah, and it's so helpful they have those extended hours until 9 p.m.,
Yeah.
plus walk-ins for health concerns. They make it accessible.
Hmm.
And we really want to make sure you know where to go for more support. If you want to dig deeper into this, get more detailed info, find resources specifically on pediatric nutrition, you should definitely visit omegapediatrics.com.
Yes, that's the place. OmegaPediatrics.com. They have a lot of great stuff on there.
It's a fantastic resource for parents.
Definitely.
So as we wrap up this Have More Babies deep dive, I guess the main takeaway is building healthy eating habits. It's a journey, right? Not an overnight fix.
Absolutely. It's a process.
But it's an investment that pays off hugely for their health, their well-being, for the whole future.
It truly is an investment. Well said.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you found this chat helpful, please do give this video a like.
And yeah, subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss our next deep dive.
And please, share this video. If you know other parents, grandparents, caregivers who might find this useful, pass it along.
Maybe just take a moment this week. Think about one small thing, one little step you could try in your home to nudge things in a healthier direction based on what we talked about.
Great final thought. Until next time.
Goodbye, everyone.